Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Supernatural Watch Along podcast. Today we are discussing season 1, episode 6, Skin, which initially aired in 2006. According to IMDb, it is rated 8.2 out of 10, and the synopsis says a serial killer shapeshifter adopts the likeness of Sam's college buddy to commit a gruesome murder. When the brothers investigate, Bean borrows Dean's form to continue the killing spree. Director was Robert Duncan McNeil, and writers were Eric Kripke, John Shiban, and Sarah Gamble. As always, the show stars Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles, with guest stars being Amy Grabo, Peter Shinkoda, Margaret Marrett Green, Anita Brown, and Shireen Haas. Whose names I totally
You've butchered their help.
So once again, the IMDb synopsis kind of gives
a
stuff
lot away.
away, yeah.
Yeah, gives a
Especially
lot
if,
away.
now, I would hope most people aren't checking single episode synopsi until they have said, until they've seen said episode. But who knows? You might be a IMDb connoisseur checking out the episodes in advance. And if that is the case, I am sorry, because this episode has a phenomenal opening. Iron Butterfly playing Inagada Davida.
Yeah. The 19-minute classic.
So that is playing as a SWAT team enters the building to save a girl from what looks like a serial killer, only for us to find out said killer is Dean. Now, of course, the IMDb synopsis has ruined the plot twist, but Ali, I'm assuming you did not read the IMDb synopsis before watching the episode.
Nope.
So what did you think of this opening? Seeing Dean with a knife, a woman tied to a chair.
Unfortunately, it cut to the so many hours earlier scene. I was just like,
1 week earlier.
Yeah. It was like, right, thanks very much. I might have wanted to think about it. Was how quickly it done it. I was just like, thanks. I might have wanted to think about that. But to answer your question, I was like, this might be a good episode. What's happening? So I got intrigued.
Okay. Kieran, do you remember, now obviously it was a long time ago you first saw this episode. Do you remember what your thoughts were when you first saw this?
From the first time seeing it, no, I can't. It was, 2006, 7 when I watched for the first episode. So I do enjoy the in medias res opening, though.
Yeah,
it's quite nice.
I know for a fact I never thought, Dean's a bad guy. So it will have been a case of, I wonder why this is happening. Maybe he's a monster, something like that. I can't remember what I thought, but I know I was never like, Dean's a villain, because that's not going to happen. So, which is one kind of downfall with TV show such as this in general. They're never going to swerve and make one of their main guys like that. A killer for, a villain for the most part, because for an extended period, because they always kind of need to revert to at least close to the status quo, because that's what people tune in to see.
Yes.
And it's the same with Smallville. It's the same with
100%.
Any show like this. They always try and revert close to the status quo, so that if someone misses an episode, they can come back in and not feel completely jarred by a massive change that's occurred in the previous episode. So anyway, like Ali alluded to, it goes to 1 week earlier, and we see Sam checking his emails on what was like his BlackBerry or something.
Yeah.
So that was amusing.
I saw this as well.
Yeah. And he was, they go and check out the crime because one of his college buddies, her brother, has been accused of murder, despite them saying he was in two places at once, so he couldn't have possibly have done it. We also see that a dog next door personality completely changed around the time of said murder when they're investigating the crime scene. We see the eyes of the killer change as he's watching a victim. So he still looks like the brother, and his eyes kind of go
They do the
silver.
Yeah, they do like a lizard
Yes,
snap thing.
yes, they do.
Yeah.
We all know they're the laser eyes.
Yes. Okay, so Ali, you want to go that? That's a joke from about 6 episodes time, 6 seasons time, maybe more. I'm not sure, but yeah, that is a reference to something that
Thank
will
you.
not happen for years of viewing.
Years, right? Okay.
Well, so you've got the laser eyes to look forward to. In the meantime, back in the current episode, a man returns home to find his wife tied to a chair and bleeding, only to be confronted by himself and not unconscious. Sam and Dean are then able to deduce that the killer is a shapeshifter. And they track said shifter into the sewers, where they find that when a shifter changes, it sheds its skin like a snake. It's pretty disgusting.
It's so not the shapeshifters that I'm used to. That's for sure.
What are the shapeshifters you're used to?
Star Trek's shapeshifters from Deep Space Nine.
I got the worst of the Star Treks.
Hey, that's another podcast for another time.
So anyway, so yeah, we also are told that the only surefire way to kill a shapeshifter is a silver bullet to the heart.
Apparently.
I disagree with their synopsis
Okay.
because let's be fair. Nuclear bomb would kill most things. Wood chipper. There's loads of things that could really work. So just limiting yourself to a silver bullet, I think you're being too narrow-minded. I think they need to expand. Because let's be fair, decapitation and then burying something in cement kills most things.
Shapeshifter.
I agree, but
a
what are you saying, Ali?
But a shapeshifter has no bone structure, so they essentially
Still has a brain.
it still has a brain, but it's essentially and again I'm using Star Trek. Essentially, they're meant to be a liquid life form, whereas
Still Terminator 2.
No, it's not a liquid life form by any means.
T-1000,
It's,
yeah.
They even mention later in the episode when the shifter is in Dean's form and talking to Sam's old college buddy, whose name Rebecca. When they're chatting, Dean, quotation marks for anyone who'll be listening, shifter, he essentially says that he was born human, but horrendous, different, ugly, grotesque, until he learned to change. So, yeah, not a liquid being, a very
no, I know,
being.
I know.
It actually has bones, and we see that.
We saw it
as well when we actually see the transformation at one point, and it was epic.
Very gruesome. Very gruesome.
Like the skin is peeling off and the teeth are popping out and fingernails coming off and the bones are moving under the skin. It looked painful, right? Seriously painful. Great transformation.
I think it's up there with one of the best transformation scenes. I would put it in the underworld transformation. Great transformation for the werewolves.
I
And
mean, if you're
Van
talking about
Helsing,
or
where they
an
rip off all
American
their
Werewolf
skin.
in London,
Also good, yeah.
that's a incredible transformation, and this is has very similar kind of things to that. Yeah. So yeah, it is genuinely an epic transformation. So I agree. I would put it up there with
Oh,
the best transformation, potentially the best transformation on any TV show. Period. All the transformations I would put it with are movie
yeah.
transformation.
Much higher
Um,
budget, yeah. So it holds up for the budget it got,
yeah,
100%, yeah.
especially considering again this episode aired in 2006.
Mhm.
You know, we are almost 20 years on. You know, we're 18 years on, and it still holds up for a TV show. You
Yeah.
know, that's incredible. That means that very, very well done. Mm. Anyway, the shifter turns into Dean and catches Sam. And he has Sam tied up. We then find out that the shifters are able to take on their the people whose form they've taken. They take on their memories, their feelings, their thoughts.
Which
So
was
they're
quite a
able to
cool
learn
thing.
things. It's a
Very
very
cool.
cool thing,
Cool.
yeah. And he then goes after Becky in the form of Dean. That's when we find out that Dean was also captured and tied up, just elsewhere. And Dean is able to free himself and Sam because Dean's a badass. Yeah. The shifter then
Sam
attacks
has better hair.
Becky. I mean, okay, that's the whole different debate. But I would be interested in seeing what our listeners think of that. So, who has better hair, Sam or Dean? Let us know in the comments. We're only asking about their hair in season 1.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, Sam's got a lot of hairstyles, so season 1 there's the
So we can check season by season who's got the better two. So as of now, anyway, yeah, Sam attacks Becky, and we can go into the opening. This is where the show began with the SWAT coming in, and the shifter gets away, and this is where the change happens that we've already discussed.
Yeah.
We then kind of see Dean hunting the shifter, and Becky knocks out Sam when Sam's checking on her, and it turns out that the shifter was actually in the form of Becky Gesundheit. We we end up getting a fight scene between Sam and Shifter Dean, and again Dean wins, or at least Shifter Dean wins. But the Shifter doesn't appear to have any additional strength or speed or anything. It's just, it can do what Dean can do, as far as we can tell.
Mhm.
Agreed?
Yep.
I'd probably say tiny bit enhanced strength.
You think? I don't think we
Yeah,
saw anything that pointed to that.
I think tiny bit, yeah.
I think you're a Sam fanboy. You just don't want to admit that.
No,
something's
I
else.
I would admit Dean at this point in time would definitely beat Sam's ass. But you did see that Sam got on a few good shots, and the shifter just seemed more resilient than a standard person would be, even a well trained person would be. So I
Uh,
think
Potentially,
marginal at most.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's possible. Dean, anyway, the shifter Dean is strangling Sam, and real Dean comes in, saves Sam, and shoots the shifter dead, which, for our hunter count, puts Dean at 3 kills so far for the season, and Sam at 2. Yeah, Kieran, thought on this episode?
I enjoy the episode. I think it's fun. Again, I think it goes more into Sam's backstory, his relationships that he had in college when he was there. Uh, Dean, they were, you can see, the brother dynamic works well when the shifters reading Dean's thoughts and learning his pathways and everything insinuates that, Dean holds a lot of resentment for Sam. We're not sure if that's the shifter just trying to essentially psych out Sam, or that's actually something that Dean might feel.
We
We will
also
find out
don't
as the
know
show
if,
goes on.
yeah, we also don't know if like Dean has these feelings, but the shifter misinterprets them because it's clearly not a socially,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I think obviously we don't find out too much just now, but I think the shifter wasn't making stuff up. There was something there that the shifter was playing off,
Yeah,
whether it
which
was
we'll clearly see down the road as well.
yes.
Yeah.
Ali, what was your thoughts on this episode? Oh, sorry, Kieran, were you not finished?
No, that was it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. It obviously changed this show changed my perspective on what shapeshifters could be in another franchise. So, yeah, it was good. It adds a little bit more to the brothers' story as well, because like what Kieran's just said is, and you've just said, there's more memories there, so they only let out so much, but obviously as time goes on, we'll find out a lot more.
What I forgot to add about the end of the episode that I should add is the episode ended with an epic song, All Right Now by Free. But also, more importantly, with Dean taking the blame for all the murders that have taken place in the area. So Dean is now a suspected serial killer.
Which I found kind of strange.
Why?
A dead serial killer.
Yeah, they think he's dead. They think he's
Yeah.
dead.
I think he's dead.
So-
Yeah.
Well, why did you think that, Strange Ali?
No, I just thought that was a strange burden to take on. That was all.
Not an easy life being a hunter.
Clearly not. No.
Well, okay. And with that being said, it is time for, you guessed it, our villains tier list. So we can see where the shifter falls. So shifter. Kieran, can you see the shifter?
Let me zoom in.
It's not just a picture of icons, though.
There he is.
Oh, there. Very end.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pulling his skin off, man.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go first because I haven't gone first yet.
Okay.
And I'm going to put our shifter S tier.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, it will change once you give
Of
your
course. Yeah, I know.
your thoughts.
I know.
Kieran, where would you put the shifter?
I think the shifter is solid A tier, but the
Cool.
Wendigo's better.
Yeah, I would agree. Spot. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, we'll put him at the top of A tier. Because if we have two here, one here, balances out to here. So our shifter.
That's not how maths works, but
That's
okay.
exactly how it works. The shifter is now, I mean, to be fair, it might put him on, exactly on par with the Wendigo, but as is, I'm in charge, shut your mouth. So,
Also, that didn't agree. You be in charge. You're like a de facto figurehead. Because, yeah, because Ali's too charismatic to do it, and I'm too lazy. So it just defaults to you. That's what it is.
Okay, that's how it goes. Fair. Okay.
He's not wrong.
Kieran. Ali, you're losing voting rights here. How would you rate this episode out of 10?
I think the episode's an 8.5. Oh, I mean, 8.5, if I'm in the right mood for it, it's a 9.
Okay.
But, so I really enjoy it.
Very strong episode.
Yeah.
on my notes, I've put down 8.5, and I think my notes were pretty accurate. I think the Shifter's a great villain. Yeah, I think it does a good job. The story does a good job showing, like you say, the kind of resentment Dean kind of holds for Sam, or potentially holds for Sam. And there's kind of more to their dynamic than is spoken, which we've seen over the last couple of episodes, and you actually spoke about in our previous episode that they just don't speak to one another. There's a
No.
lot unspoken, which impacts them. Ali, your rating and final thoughts.
It's 7.5 for me.
7.5.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I enjoyed it, but I think I would need to watch it all again just to get a better appreciation for this version of a shapeshifter.
You're too hung up on your Star Trek shifters.
Totally, mate. They got me at a young age. What can I say?
And on that note of being got at a young age, we will see you next week when we discuss episode 7, Hookman. Or the Hookman. I can't remember if there's a the in there. There's
Still
a man with a hook we will be discussing. So join us.
Played
for-
by Dustin Hoffman.
That's just not true. It's just not true. It's a blatant lie.
Well, I am 90%. In fact, I'm 100% sure Dustin Hoffman played Hook. So,
Yes.
and we
Oh,
all know
100%.
there is only one man with a hook. So, clearly, to be the same person.
And until next time, looky, I got your hookie.